Okay, we are here to celebrate today that we have won the Voice Awards. So as we are calling from this amazing movement called the People's Action for Learning that I'm now supporting in advocacy and communications. And I'm really here delighted today to introduce Mohamed Usman and Sara Ruto, who will tell us more about what this amazing process of getting to create a common tool between 17 organizations from the Global South, what it takes, how it was, and why are we so happy and why we really appreciate this award and this celebration. Please, Usman.
Thank you so much, Nina, and thank you so much, Sarah, for joining today. I think it's very nice that it's just been announced. We have received the Voice Award for International Common Assessment for Numeracy, ICAN, which we started thinking about way back in, I think, 2017, 2018. And as somebody who led the process, who held the vision, brought everybody together, and started this common assessment movement, we just wanted to know your thoughts on receiving this very special award. Over to you, Sarah.
Thank you, Usman and Nina. And first, a very, very warm congratulations to the People's Action for Learning Network. We have always said that PAL is a family, a big one. And so I would like to say a big congratulations to this huge family from so many countries across 3 continents and more who made this happen. And when I look back, this award is really a recognition of a dream and a vision that we have all collectively had. You know, a dream and a vision that began many years ago in India when everybody was doing their own assessments. And then we came together and started the PAL network. Again, many people enabled this to have happened. The Hewlett Foundation was there at that particular time. And of course, the various organizations doing the various forms of citizen-led assessments. ASER, UWEZO, Bekungu, you know. And one of the things we said is that we want to do something together, that we will be able to tell our story, our narrative together. And so then the PAL network comes together and we start developing the common the quality standards that will define us and what we want to do together. And that, it was not developed from outside, but we ourselves putting our quality benchmarks, our standards of what we wanted. And of course, then this paved way for the common assessments. And I always say that when you want to start something that hasn't been done before, then you start with what is reachable. And so for us, it was very easy to start with numeracy because somehow the language of math, I think, is more universal. Yes, we had to check that it aligns with the national curricula, but it was something that made it possible to begin this route of common assessments. So you can see there was a will, a belief that we can have our own assessments to tell our story of whether children are learning or not learning in this particular way. And it is a story of what is possible when you decide together that you want to do something. And in many ways, we therefore bequeathed to the world something unique and a possibility of what people can come together, especially now that we know and claim that we are global citizens. Usman.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah. What a nice reminder of how we started it. I actually almost forgot the quality standards and how they basically played a vital role in the building blocks of common assessments, that we have something that we already agreed on in terms of the quality we want our data to be. And now we want to build something that is more global and more outlooking. Thanks so much for reminding us of that. Now that you know that we are coming together, the PAL network and all the members, for multiple rounds of common assessments in the future. So thinking about doing 15 countries next year, and then hopefully doing 3 rounds by the end of SDG by 2030. How do you envision and what would your thoughts be for the PAL network, for the members, and for the world about this future aspect of common assessments from PAL network?
The family of the People's Action for Learning, those of us who have been doing citizen-led assessments, we have unfinished business. And I think that the common assessments that we are doing will help us as we are aiming towards 2030 to be able to gather the evidence that should be able to inform us on our journey. I have always said that when you think about the burden of literacy and numeracy, surely this is something that our generation needs to be able to resolve. We need to be able to bequeath to our children and to the generations that come this skill of knowing how to read and write. Let them be able to have to deal with other skills that this technologically fast-moving world of ours is bringing later on. But surely this base foundational one, we need to be able to bequeath them. And the common assessments will allow us to be able to get rightful measures. I sometimes feel that when we are talking about learning or lack of it, we often use the term the global learning crisis, and it has almost become a cliche. Because when something is so big that you cannot hold it and name it in your own space, then it becomes somebody else's story. What these common assessments will allow at least these 15 countries to do is to be able to gauge where are they when it comes to achieving literacy and numeracy for all their children. How do they compare and what do you need to do? It's such a low-stake assessment. Surely, if you're not doing well, the only thing that you can do is really to improve. And so I am glad that we began with ICAN and that in the last couple of years, through the hard work and collective will of the PAL network, you have now come up with ELANA, not just numeracy, but also literacy. And so I think it's going to become very critical as we go to the 2030. And when the SDGs, we need to be reporting about them, that we will have a true measure that will be telling us where we are. And that, to me, is a very key contribution we can make to the world, and we need to retain vision of that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and I think this whole measure of the progress towards achieving SDG, the commitments the countries have, and how are they doing, having that reliable, up-to-date data is key. And I think all our network members have a very huge role to play in getting us there to equip our global, local government and all other stakeholders to give them that up-to-date data so that they can do informed policy decision making. Thank you so much, Sarah. And we are very, very happy to have you here. And congratulations to everyone at the PAL network who participated in ICAN.
Congratulations.